Testing, testing.
Hi everybody, we're just setting up here. Hope everyone is doing well.
17.
Yeah, here we go. All right. There's just a little bit of a delay on the control panel here, so we just want to make sure everything's going okay.
We're live.
We're live. Yay. All right. Hope everyone is doing well.
It is delayed.
All right. I'm going to pop this out for you so you can see. We're a couple of minutes early, so we can just kind of get things set up here and make sense. If you can hear us well, please check in. Please let us know if you can hear us, see us, all that sort of stuff. Ah, we have our first. Hi, everyone.
Hello, hello.
Okay, well, here, I'm going
to turn the volume down on this one. Okay. I'm logged in as somebody else.
That's okay. All right. Sound is great. Awesome. Well,
we tried to be more coordinated this time.
I know, it's been such a mess.
We went through it all last night. Franny spent a long time making sure. We had a bad cable.
Oh, we had a bad cable. So I don't know if you remember a couple times ago. Yeah, we had a bad cable and we lost like the video or the audio or something, and we ended up doing it on the phone.
We're definitely a couple clowns for live stream.
Oh my gosh, what a kerfuffle. So at any rate, well, it looks like people are checking in. We are a minute or two early.
Right.
But it's great to hear from all of you. I hope everyone is having a wonderful evening, morning, afternoon, whatever it is, wherever you are. For us, it is the evening. Yep. So if you're halfway around the world.
Yeah, we had to start later. We had that work thing. So.
Yeah, the work thing. But and this time seems to work okay for people. I think it's probably a little late for Europe, but pretty good for the United States and a couple other places. So
great. Okay,
all right.
So we have a bunch of hellos from people. Hello, and Nun said the 3.2 Carrera looks amazing.
Yes, that's it behind us here.
All right, you could see and hear us. Yay!
Woohoo!
Glad to hear that. Hello from Puerto Rico, from Eduardo.
Oh, how cool. How is it in Puerto Rico? How are things? How's your weather? And how are things down there?
How's the infrastructure there? Getting some power and stuff now, slowly.
Love to visit Puerto Rico.
We would,
oh,
absolutely.
God, that sounds so cool.
Okay.
That sounds really neat. Yay.
Oh, we have, is it Francisco saying something in...
Portuguese, probably, it looks like. Yeah. Hello from Cape Cod.
Yeah.
Yay.
Hello from Cape Cod. Yay.
How are we doing here?
Thanks for staying on late, guys, on the East Coast.
Yeah, we know it's kind of late.
Anybody else that I mean, this was one of those things where we had to contemplate, because we know that, unfortunately, Europe, it's in the middle of the night there. So it's a bummer because we do have a lot of subscribers that are in Germany and England. So we were kind of bummed. But we try to do this, like we did this on a Saturday one time so that we could do it a little bit earlier. So we try to mix it up and do live streams at different times.
Yeah, so let us know. What do you say about the time? Does it work for you? Is it a good time, bad time? Just let us know what you think. We can adjust our timing a bit as well.
Hello from Korea. Hello from Qatari, the other side of the world.
Holy cow.
Wow. Dug the engine rebuild, great protocols and processing.
Aw.
Great, and we have Brett saying that he loves the content.
Great, yay.
Yay.
All right, great.
Awesome.
Well, I suppose, it's 7:32 here, so I guess we can kind of get started. What do you think?
Right. Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to open it up to questions, of course, like we always do, and we'll take questions as they come up in the chat. That'd be great. So we have the engine, obviously, is in good shape. There's a few more things. Let me kind of bring you up to speed. The engine is basically done. There's some tubes and things that need to be attached, but I think that's kind of just easiest to do right before we put it in. The next thing I want to do on the engine, actually, I hadn't really thought about this, but I think I am going to pull the clutch off and take a look at it and take a look at that flywheel. If everything looks good in there, I can just go ahead and bolt it right back up again. I think it was replaced recently, but that's an I think, so We should probably check into that, huh? So that's going to be the next episode that I film this weekend. Wow. I'm gonna get into that. And then the additional bit is the engine bay on the car is super, super dirty as well. So people ask me all the time, how do you keep so clean? Well, you just start with a clean engine and a clean engine bay. So we'll go through kind of cleaning the inside of the thing. It's a billion times easier because the engine isn't in. So that's the video for this weekend. But on top of that, Heidi, do you wanna talk us through what comes after that, or where we are?
I think that's to TBD still. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. We have a couple more people on, and then we'll get into what's next.
Okay. All right.
So we have some people here from Australia, it looks like. Lebanon, Indiana.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Virginia, Los Angeles.
Yay.
Thailand.
Holy cow.
Malaysia.
Holy cow.
Florissant, Missouri, and Lime Rock, Connecticut.
Oh, wow.
Well, hello, guys.
Hello, everyone.
Right.
Yep. Thank you so much as you're checking in.
So we are at a crossroads with the 3.2 Carrera, and that's one of the reasons why we decided to have this live stream. We wanted to get some input from you. So basically what we've done with the project thus far has not been all that costly. That's the beauty of working on your own car. The most costly part was parts, I think.
Parts, the plating, and the powder coating, I think, was kind of expensive as well.
Yeah. But then we really kind of get interior of the car, depending on what we do with it, could be, more than the parts.
Could get expensive.
And then we get into paint. And we did have a couple of people come and look at the paint on the car. And so they are the people that we want to paint the car, but there's a but.
Yeah.
Right?
So the guys that we had look at it, they can do anything from sort of a driver on up to concours.
Right.
But painting a car is like one of the most expensive things. So people always ask me, what should I do if I'm going to go look at a car? Look at the paint. Right. Look at the bodywork and the paint, because those are actually more expensive than getting the engine or the transmission done in a lot of cases.
Well, if the engine blows up, then that'd be more than the paint.
Maybe. I mean, it depends,
I guess.
Questionable. If you're missing an engine, maybe.
Rust and everything else would make
it can make it really bad.
Right.
So they looked at the body, they looked at the paint, and they said, the car's actually in pretty good shape. It's not great, it's not perfect, but it's in pretty good shape. The body doesn't have any rust. It's never been hit. There could be, and I'm sure there are, some little bits, somewhere around that are on the paint that are going to need to be addressed. Now, here's the deal. I would have to completely disassemble the car. Anything, I think I mentioned it in the last video, anything that touches paint would have to come off. So that's not the end of the world. I can take things apart. I'm sure there's bits on here that are perished, parts in the bumper and stuff, a lot of the rubber and stuff that we probably need to fix anyways. But then we're looking at over 10 grand for a paint job on the car, and then probably another, I don't know, maybe 2, 3, something like that for the interior.
The transmission.
And we still have the transmission.
The transmission has to get done.
That was the whole reason we're taking it apart in the first place.
Right, that has to get done. So,
and that's 3 or 4 grand.
The problem with this is that we are definitely going to be in over what we've put, what the car would be worth. I was laughing because somebody says, "Don't you dare sell that car." Right. And that's the thing. I mean, the car, we can't recoup our losses anyway if we were to paint it and everything else. And it really, we would be selling it at a loss. We actually have somebody on from Sweden right now.
Oh, how fun.
Which means it's like, what? I would say it's what?
Like 2 in the morning or something?
3 in the morning, 4
2 or 3 in the morning?
I don't know. Well, at least it's light there. They say it's light.
Yeah. Well, so we're trying to make a decision if we want to go forward with the exterior and the interior. We do have some.
Not sell that car. We've got somebody else yelling.
We do, yes. We do have some other bits for the interior. We actually have another set of seats that are a little bit better than ours. They came out of this car's, the sister car to this, which is a coupe. Same year, same color, same interior.
Right.
And so we have a bunch of parts. But we also have carpets and things too, so we can do some of the interior without spending a lot of money.
The other thing is that we've been really lacking on all of our other content. We have not done Ferrari stuff. We have not done 996 stuff. We haven't even done really any 356 stuff. We have like stuff piling up for the other stuff that we normally put on the channel. So we could always do paint later. It would probably be, I mean, we've just spent a long time on this project already. We had,
it's been almost a year.
We had Jay's car come in there, the 356, but we have been going on this project for a while, and so we want to keep you guys entertained and, you know, hopefully bring you other content that you want to see. So we thought, you know, possibly we might hold off on the paint.
Well, give us your opinions. Tell us what you think. Should we can always do the paint another time, of course. I mean, there's nothing like that says, oh, we can't finish the project. Sure, we can. We can get the transmission done. We can get it mated to the engine, get the engine back in, and then the car's drivable at that point. And then we can work on the interior. But we have, as Heidi pointed out, we have suspension work to do on the Ferrari. We have things to do on the other cars. The 993 has a leaking chain cover on it. So I want to do, it does. It's leaking a little bit of oil, so we want to get that done. Yeah. And then there's stuff on the 356 I want to get done. The steering and the brakes aren't really happening for me. So we do have other things to do as well. But we wanted to get your opinion, see what you think. If you're really, honestly, the views on the entire 911 series has been, I don't know, a little lackluster, so it's not playing well. I think it's playing well with you guys. It's playing great. And you guys have been so sweet, and your comments are amazing. And it's been such a treat to read them all, actually. But it's not making it out of the pond very well, and I'm not really sure that's a...
People logging in, we have a Patreon, actually. We have one of our Patreons, great. And so... somebody says they have the exact same 993 cab as we do.
Oh, great.
And love to see some content on that. Yes.
Okay, yeah.
And then tuning in from Central Texas, JB. TL says, keep it as a driver, preserve the car as it was meant to be. Even with the funny paint, I guess. So really quick about that. The car's had a respray on part of it, like sort of a diagonal cut on it. The left side of the car appears to be original paint, the single part paint, and the right side, I'm not sure if it's single part paint, but it has been repainted a little bit, and the bonnet has clear coat on it. So it's a little crazy, but. Somebody said, what would Jerry Seinfeld do? You know, Jerry Seinfeld never would have bought Shamu, to be honest.
Super not special enough.
We know that. We know actually a car that he did buy from somebody else that we know that's a friend.
But he would keep it the way it is. So, I know Jerry. I know that's what he did.
Buy it back up and drive it. And then we have another one that says, make the survivor driver skip the paint and interior. Good to know.
Oh, okay.
Not tired of the Porsche. Well, that's good. Love the 911 content. Keep it coming. The paint doesn't look too bad for its age. No, it doesn't. It's not that bad.
No.
I mean, it's not great, but it's not bad. Beautiful that way. Another one to skip the paint. Well, good. Maybe they're in alignment with us. Maybe.
Well, because that's kind of the way we've been thinking, and
we're just kind of excited to move on to other things, and I think we'd have to give up the 911 for 4 to 6 weeks, maybe 8 weeks.
Yeah, because it would be off at the painter.
And then we still wouldn't have done the transmission, and then it would be like almost into next year. We're talking about like October, November, and so.
Yeah, that's it.
Anyway,
the timing issue is a thing.
Throw in a roll cage and go racing. Skip the paint and enjoy it. Wow, that's the fourth one.
Okay.
Yeah, skip the paint, call it patina. Wow, we had a lot of skip the paints. Well, good to hear from you guys.
Yeah, thank you so much.
That saves me some money right now.
Well, that was it. I mean, that's a lot of money to sort of come up with, and for you're not really increasing the value of the car that much, maybe a little bit, but it's by the time you turn around and sell it, the paint's going to be a little dinked up anyways. So I don't know. Our friend Doug said, "Don't over restore it. If you do, you'll never drive it."
Wow, we just have a
It's
lot
a good
of
opinion too. So
thanks, guys.
Okay.
Really appreciate the input for sure.
okay.
Do spark plugs, wires, chain covers, axle boots, etc.
Yes.
Well,
Yep.
yes.
Yep. So I do have a new kit for the axle boots and the
The
blue
car won't
booties.
drive any better with new paint and interior. True.
No, it's not going to be any
and
faster,
we
my
are
guess.
anxious to see. I mean, other than the transmission, we are anxious to see the engine.
Yeah,
see the engine in action.
Yeah, see it in action because it's pretty cool.
Wow, we have greetings from Long Island.
Yep.
Long Island, did I say that
Long
right?
Island. Love that.
Yep. Take it to a dealer who can clean up the paint or touch it up. Yeah, we can. I mean, we could detail it. Have somebody detail it.
Yeah, it's just it's been burned through in some areas, and some of the clear coat is peeling up in different
Right.
areas and stuff. But that's the thing. But it just drives the same, and unless you're really looking at it, you don't see
Right.
it anyways. So, and we do have, as somebody said, we do have other things to do. We have the CV booties we have to do.
Booties.
The booties. And I might
a
even
funny
replace
thing.
those axles. I've had them out before, and I've replaced the boots when we bought the car because they were ripped. And the axles still feel good to me, but they're actually not that expensive to replace. So we might do that. The clutch, of course, that's a new thing that might be an issue. That could be a bit of money.
Patrons on. So,
Oh, good.
yeah.
Yay.
Pat's Garage Online came on.
Oh, hi, Pat.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, that actually is really helpful. Thank you so much for all your input on that.
Right,
I think that's probably the direction we're going to go, because I mean, with the red car, we've got all the suspension work that needs to be done on it. That means either a rebuild. And let's ask you this question. See what you think. So on the Ferrari, it's got a double A suspension on it, right? So it's got this big coilover with a shock in it, and so it's kind of a neat suspension. The whole car is built on a tubular steel frame, but they're conies, right? They're coney shocks, and what I would do would actually literally to pull each corner apart, completely apart, take the suspension bits down. I have all new bushings for them, but it's that shock and spring thing that it would cost $200, $300, $250, something like that per corner to get those shocks rebuilt. And I'm wondering I know that you can buy a complete set there that isn't the original conies, but they're adjustable, and you can adjust the ride height and all sorts of stuff and give it a little more sports car-y feel to it. And I'm wondering if I should go that way or send the conies off and get them. You can actually get them adjusted as well, which is kind of nice because they're not adjustable now. But when you send them off to Coney and get them rebuilt, they can fix them so they can be adjustable. So might do that. I don't know. But anyway, we're looking. It's going to be between, I don't know, $1,000 and $1,600, something like that, for a full set of all the suspension stuff for all the bits we don't have actually. So let me know what you think. If you think it's worth spending the time to get the conies rebuilt, or if
Definitely.
Or
Please
we
feel
just
free
replace
to
everything.
Put something in the chat box.
Yeah, please do.
So we have Alex from Sydney, Australia.
Hi, Alex.
We have Anna from Austin, Texas.
Hi, Anna.
She said, "Whoa, you have an i8."
Yes.
Yes, we do.
Yes.
Yes, and it's fun.
It is one of the most underrated, cool cars in the world, and
Huntington Beach.
Pat can tell you about that too.
Someone asked if we buy our fluids in bulk, our oil. We definitely.
Yeah, we definitely do.
Well, not bulk. I mean.
But we buy them
sort
online,
of.
though.
Yeah,
Yes?
I mean, we do.
Buy 'em by the
we
case.
definitely sit there and think about it. Like, okay, this car needs that. So we may buy a bigger instead of like small little quarts. You know, we might buy
Right.
something bigger, but Yeah, I mean, we can't buy too much in bulk, especially with the dyno, because it wouldn't last on the shelf that long.
Well, yeah, you don't want it to
So,
sit around too awfully long. And then it's always nice to have an extra quart container and
Right.
make sure that's full and in
Right,
the car.
and so sometimes we want the small ones. for
Yeah,
the
so
cars.
sometimes you want the little ones. Yeah.
So somebody says they really like the 996 and 308 content. Yeah, really sorry we haven't done that for a while.
Yeah.
So we're definitely going to get back into that really soon.
Oh, yeah. The
We have
996
we
needs
have
the front.
Front. Yeah, that's not completely my fault. Mostly my fault, but Franny's looking at me because she's going to blame me.
No.
for it.
It's
So-
it's a very perishable or replaceable, consumable part. It's the little air dam that goes underneath the front lip.
It was broken when we got it, but
It was.
I didn't make it any better.
No.
Let me put it that
No.
way. And neither did our driveway. So now
Right.
that we have the
Bridget in there.
the Bridget's in there, and it's better. I think
Makes it
it's
a lot
fun
better.
to do it now.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Anyway, well, we need to do that as well. Is there anything else going on with the 996? It's like broken or anything?
Well, we got spark plugs, but we never got around to. Well,
Doesn't need them. We looked
Doesn't
through
need
them.
'em.
We looked through the manual or the work
I
history.
know with the 996, if you do the 997, well, it's right along the lines of the spark plugs. It's the
coil packs.
coil
Yeah.
packs, right?
Yeah. Well, we might end up doing something like that. That's a big
Right.
job, actually. You got to take the whole back of the car apart. It's kind of funny that how much work
You
you have
guys
to
would
do to
love
do that.
that,
Yeah,
right?
it's kind of cool. It's like 2 hours of disassembly work for 10 minutes of work.
So, okay, so we have a couple questions here.
Yeah.
If you don't paint, how long do you think it will be before you get
It back together. Oh, great question.
Not as long as you'd think.
Not that long. So we called the place we want to get the transmission done.
Right.
That
Pretty
one,
much said drop it off.
yeah, and so the transmission is, it is something that really should be done by somebody who knows what they're doing.
Right.
It's very easy to screw it up.
Well, they have
and
a lot of special parts for it.
exactly.
too.
Yep. Special parts, special presses, and we're not really
Tools,
a machine
I should
shop.
say special, parts and tools.
Right. Exactly.
So-
And so how am I going to know if a gear is bad or not?
Yeah.
I don't know. So we have a place that we can take it down to. We talked to them about it. So they asked a zillion questions. In fact, they were the ones that were grilling me over the clutch. And they're like, did you do the clutch? Blah, blah, blah. We had a car with the clutch was perfect. And we put it all back together and it failed within a week. So good
We'll
point.
deal with it.
Right?
Actually,
So,
we'll deal with it.
any rate, so yeah. So I think the transmission would only take about 2 or 3 weeks. And gosh, we could get everything else
You have
done in
somebody
the way.
saying that
I
our
think so.
engine looks like a work of art behind
Aw,
us.
thanks.
Yes, thank you. And I agree, it's very beautiful. So,
See it well enough?
Franny has spent many hours on the engine,
Yeah.
even not filming. I mean, just
Oh,
kind of
cleaning and stuff.
making
Yep.
sure parts are laid out, and hours and hours going through photos, making sure things are.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
so I
so,
have over
right.
900 photos just of the bits of the engine. And I feel like
She's meticulous.
I could have
Right.
used another 800.
Really?
Yeah, it's
my gosh.
crazy. And the ones that were the most important were the ones that were in context.
Right.
So when I took a bolt off or a nut off or whatever, and I took a picture of it right there where it goes, because there are a zillion of them that are just slightly different lengths. And it was really hard. It was like, uh-oh. So I laid them all out and you think, okay, I'll lay all the small ones out and I've got 9. Yeah, that's weird. That's an odd number. And it's kind of strange to try and put it all back together exactly right. And I think I got pretty darn close, but those pictures, oh, they were worth their weight. And I put them on my pad or whatever and I just scrolled through them. It was really helpful.
Somebody said leave the paint, but they want us to add martini stripes.
Oh, Ardini
You know,
stripes.
one thing that Franny did want to do was put the
The Carrera
Carrera
script.
script on it. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Just because it'd be fun.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's
Right.
worth another, 10 horsepower, yes?
Right.
I think so.
Right.
So,
Yeah. Okay, so I saw a question here. So what are your thoughts on valves for draining oil?
valves for draining oil. So these guys here, actually I have one sitting right here. Mm-hmm. These are what are these things called? These flow valve things.
What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so if anybody's
You
looking, this is
have
kind of the
one.
thing we're talking about
She
here.
has
the
a brand new one that could sort of answer
Flumo
your
or whatever, or
thoughts.
Flomo or whatever. This one's
Right.
made in Japan. This is at 90 degrees, so this would go on the engine. The one that goes on the actual tank is a just straight straight through. And I really like these things. The only real downside, because they, you know, that this thing, the valve on it actually locks, and it's actually kind of a pain to get open. And then when you get it closed, it clink and it locks in. So I'm not worried about it opening up while we're driving. The only thing I would be the least bit worried about would be hitting it from underneath. And like, but I guess if you, well, I'm telling you, if you hit something hard enough to hit this thing or get up high enough, probably this would be the least of your worries. You probably have cracked the case at that point. Right. So, I don't know. I really like it. I got it sitting here because I haven't torqued the drain plug on the bottom of the engine yet, and because I just sort of put it in. Is that
the only one we have on our cars, or do we have more than one?
We only have one, and so it works really well on the 3.2 Carrera because of the oil, where the oil reservoir is.
Reservoir?
Yeah, the actual oil reservoir. It's really easy to get to.
Yeah.
On the 993, it's such a pain because it has a special plug that has a long stem in it. So I don't think you could put one of these things on the 993. That would be awesome if you could. You could definitely put it on the case, but as far as the oil tank it goes, I don't think you would be able to get it to work. But I really like these things. I think they're pretty neat, and we've been driving the car for quite a while with the one that's on the oil tank and haven't had any problems with it. But you can hook a, you know, it's got a little bib on the end of this thing too, so you can hook a tube to it and then just put it into your oil thing, open this up, and it just goes down. Zero spill, zero mess. Super awesome. So I really like these things. I think they're pretty neat, but I got some kind of, oh my God, why would you use something like that on your car comments, and some people got kind of pissed about it. But I don't know. I kind of like it though. So this one will probably go on the bottom of the engine as well.
Okay, somebody else asks, what are your thoughts on toluene as an octane booster? Isn't that like a hazardous material?
Oh, I don't know.
For those of us
I don't think that hazardous.
in the West running on 991?
With 91 octane?
Oh, yeah.
On 91 octane. You know, here's the thing about, I don't know a huge amount about it, but as far as octane boosts go, let me give you an example of the 356. We actually run mid-grade on that car because it won't react at all to the higher octane, because in order to take advantage of it, the engine management system, which that doesn't have, would have to know that you've got higher octane fuel, and then it can increase the compression a little bit, or mostly what it's going to do is advance the timing, and you can get a bit more power out of the car. Or if it's turbocharged, they all have knock sensors on them, and they can tell what kind of fuel you've got, and they can increase the boost a little bit, or at least they won't retard the boost if you've got lower octane. So it depends on the car dramatically. On the 3.2 Carrera, I don't think it would make much difference at all, because you can't, the Motronic system on that's not that sophisticated, and I don't think it would be able to really know what to do with better octane. And plus, Porsche kind of I think they spec a pretty high octane, at least 91, 93, if I remember. I'll have a look on the thing, but it's a pretty high octane. So if your car can handle it and you're not worried about it knocking and pinging or any of that, then I guess that would be fine.
What's the year though that you're talking about where it kind of makes a difference?
It would be the 993. Well, it actually probably be the 996 and newer. So it's anything 2000 and newer, I would say.
Okay.
Might make a bit of a difference. I doubt you'd really be able to feel all that much difference. I don't know. This is gonna be seat of the pants horsepower.
You have a newer car like that anyway. Maybe consider getting a performance tune or something.
Yeah.
So,
okay. That's a great suggestion. And
we spent. What did we spend? $800 on the. We don't have the Boxster anymore. That was actually a car that we sold before we started our channel. But we did. We had a 2006.
Boxster S.
Boxster S, and we did have a performance tune done on it, and it made it, like, a lot of times when I'd be going around the corner, it was like, I didn't want to go into first because it was like way too low, but second would kind of like, you know, kind of lug, and so getting that performance tune kind of made a difference for me in some of the lower, you know, gears and stuff like that.
Well, and it just felt like the car had a little bit of a cold, and when we got the tune, it sort of cleared it all up. It had more mid-range power and all
Right.
sorts of stuff. So that was pretty
money
sweet.
well spent.
I think so.
I mean, it was under $1,000. So, I mean, a lot of
Yep.
people will look at, swapping out the exhaust or things that, will maybe give you a little bit more of a boost. But, the performance tune, from my understanding, is that, it could just be software related things.
It's probably going to, because
Right.
the factory software has really got a lot of constraints on it for emissions and all
managing
sorts of
both of
stuff.
them.
Yeah, and so
Right.
that'd be the first place to start. And you might be able to talk to them when you get that tune and say, look, I'm thinking about running at 93 octane. I'm looking for 95 octane, 96, something like that. Do you have a hotter tune that could handle that higher octane?
Right.
But without a tune on the car, I'm not sure you'd really know the difference. That'd be my thing on it. That's kind of all I know about it. So,
All right. So there's some things in other foreign languages. So I'm sorry, I don't know what they say. Loving 3.2 content, miss other cars, especially love the 356 and the Ferrari.
aw, yay.
Your lift video helped me pull the trigger on a recent lift.
Oh,
Great.
good. You're going to love
Great.
it.
Yeah, the lift is huge.
Yeah.
Pat's Garage Online says Boostain Octane Booster has a solid suspension of manganese in it, so
Oh.
you won't use it. Oh, it can clog fuel strainers and stain
Holy cow.
everything orange.
Oh, my gosh.
Prefer Sunco race gas. Oh, well, good
Okay.
to know.
Well, that's another thing. You could put
Right.
race gas in, and Pat knows because he just
Right.
did a video on that where he did it on his i8. And race gas is 100 octane, I believe. And you can get that and put it in a big jerry can or something and put it in your car.
So Darcy, I run 94 available on my Super 90. The Solexes like it much better, plus
Really?
no alcohol.
Okay, well
Right.
that's good to know too. That
Here's a Super 90.
yeah.
Cool.
So that's a good point as well. Is that the fuels with all the alcohol in them are a little rough on the older cars' fuel systems. So especially the rubbers and such.
Wilson, hello from Brazil.
Oh,
So somebody said that they use the quick oil drains in aviation all the time. Cool.
oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yep. Yeah, because you're unlikely to hit something, and if you did, once again, that would be the least of your worries. So, yeah,
Who
that
do you
makes sense.
like for tuning for a 993?
That's a good.
See, now that's a bit of a problem because of the year.
Right. So I believe.
So, yeah.
I believe there's a Wong chip for the 993s. I know they make
You wanted
them.
to do that for the 3.2
Yeah, so they make them for the 3.2 Carrera,
Yeah, why
and
didn't we get that?
we will get that at some point. That actually make a pretty fun video too. So we're not done with the 99
We're
or with
not
the
done
with the
yet.
3.2, but I
Right,
believe
right.
there's a Wong chip for the 993. I think I remember seeing that, and I'll bet it would help. I'll bet it would really sort of breathe new life into that engine. It's a big engine. It's a 3.6. It should be like kind of a bit crazy. And the 993 is a funny car. It doesn't feel nearly as fast as it actually is. It's just so, I don't know, so put together and so sorted. Usually the thing, like on the 3.2 Carrera, it's rattling and it's going crazy and making all this noise, and you feel like you're doing 1,000 miles an hour, and you look down and you're going, oh, well, yeah, 58. So
Actually,
great.
that's partly the other thing with the 3.2 Carrera, which we sent off the speedometer to get redone. And when they sent it back, we didn't realize that it was off.
Yeah, it's off
And
quite a
so we went on this car, we went somewhere in the mountains, and somebody's like, why are you doing 45 or in a 55 mile an hour zone or something like that? I mean, literally, it's like...
It's off by like 8 miles an hour,
really
isn't it?
bad.
Yeah.
And so... I mean, I don't know if we can't resend it off again. I don't know what we're going to do. But
We could, I suppose. I think it went to North Hollywood, didn't it? Didn't we send it to North
don't
Hollywood?
say who it was.
I don't
especially if
remember
you're
who
not
it was.
happy about it.
Well, no, they did a beautiful job on it. It's really common for the odometers to break their gears, and I've replaced them
Right.
myself. But you know, you replace them yourself, you got full, you can mess with the odometer, and that's not a good thing.
Right.
So we wanted to send it off and have them actually do it professionally. It wasn't all that much money, I don't remember.
No, I don't think so. But I don't want to have
they
it do it
can
again.
they can adjust we just forgot to ask them. They can do it, and we just goofed up. So if you're going to send a speedometer off,
Make sure you have them
make
check
sure you
that.
ask them to calibrate it and make sure that it's
I
correct.
can't believe they didn't calibrate it.
I know, it was kind of a bummer they didn't do it, but we probably should have asked. Oh well.
Yep, that was just one of those things.
Yeah.
So, okay, somebody said something about Arizona and octane booster.
All right.
Chevron in British Columbia has 94 no ethanol. That's cool.
Oh, that's nice.
There's a one chip for the 993. Yeah.
There is. Okay,
Yeah,
okay, good. I thought there was.
That's for 995. 1995.
Oh, 1995.
This is ours, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So the 993 is split. They've got a.
Ours is a 95. Well,
yeah.
it's a 94 actually.
Ours is the OBD1 car,
Our car
and
was
not
a
the
94.
OBD2. So.
It's really a 90. It's a revend 94 as a 95.
Right. Which that's a little nutty because I've always heard. Now you guys can tell me if I'm wrong, but I've always heard that 993 was the release date. 9 of 93. So September of 93 was the release date on the car. It was released in Europe for the first year. They were still selling the 964 here in the States. And then when the 964 went away, they needed extra cars, so they took some that were 94s and revin them to 95s. And ours has that option code on the little sticker. So I know that's what they did. It's kind of interesting. So it's a very, very early car.
Strange cars, including the Ferrari, which
Yeah.
everybody goes cross-eyed whenever we try to register the Ferrari with anything.
Because it has a Euro.
It has a Euro number.
Yeah.
And they're like, that 0 doesn't exist in the U.S. And it's like, no, it doesn't.
Insurance companies
exist.
have fun with it as well.
Yeah, insurance, the DMV, all that stuff. Okay, so... and we are going to keep this, we're not going to like bore you and go for 2 hours at all. So get your questions in. We are keeping this live stream short tonight.
Yeah, because it's already 8. So we'll probably go maybe to about 8:30 or so.
8:30,
And then
yep.
I think we'll probably be done. But it's great. Thank you so much. If you're just joining, we had a little discussion a little bit
Paul
earlier.
in the UK, so he's
Okay.
either going to bed very late or getting up very, very early
Yes.
to
Well,
see
thank
us.
you.
Thank you, Paul.
If you're just joining, we had a little discussion earlier about whether we should paint the
Car.
3.2 Carrera or not.
I think it's
And
almost
it was almost unanimous.
to skip the paint, which will
Yeah.
be great for my pocketbook.
Yeah,
right
our
now.
finances, that'd be great.
Right.
So,
yeah.
which also means we speed up the putting the car back together a bit as
Right.
well.
And
So-
I think we can finish it this year instead of it going into next year, and we'll be
Yeah.
able to do other projects as well.
Yeah, we got lots more stuff to do. So, at any rate, yeah. So then, that cuts down a lot of stuff in the middle. We will swap out the seats and a couple of other things in the interior that we can do. That's easy stuff we've got.
I want my other guest bedroom back with like every single. We finally got all. Let's see. We finally got all the exhaust parts and the. What else was just
there's all this bit, all the
was
tin,
all
the exhaust.
in our living room?
It was all
So
sitting in the
people
floor in
came
the
over.
living room.
This is obviously prior to COVID, but people would come over and they're like, "Oh, you guys aren't car people at all, are you?" I mean, we have like our
Stuff
whole
strewn
living room
everywhere.
Yeah.
all
over the place, and then our guest bedroom is like we can't have any guests in the guest bedroom right now.
It's just waste all the stuff, all those seats and all this extra stuff.
And then I decided to clean out closets because of just everybody seems to be cleaning out closets and stuff because of COVID. They're like twiddling their fingers. And,
We have all sorts of parts in there, but yeah, so it'd be nice to get that stuff cleared out as well. But we do want to do the project to the best we can, and that it turns out the best. And the best might not be the best paint job. If that keeps you from driving the car, then it didn't make the car better, did it? So
okay, so
So,
JB
yeah.
wanted to know if we ordered a new gear for the odometer, and that his is stuck as 122. So
yes,
Franny didn't get into the whole reason with what we did with the It was the odometer and the speedometer for the.
No, it's just the odometer. So there's a place online called I think it's called speedometergear.com or odometergears.com,
Right.
something like that. And you can go there and they have all the gears that you need for
Right.
all the different types of speedometers used, from the 356s all the way forward, all the German ones. They have the Italian ones as well. So they've got all the different manufacturers, and they send you a little kit. And it's just a teeny little thing with a little teeny little gear in it, and maybe a couple of their little parts. And it's not the cheapest thing in the world, but at least it's awesome. And they make it out of a different material, so it won't go bad. But then you have to take the speedometer apart, and the only way to do that is to remove the front ring. So you pull it out of the car, you kind of turn it upside down.
But this is about the odometer.
Yes.
Not the speedometer.
Yes, but the odometer's in the speedometer.
Okay.
So and you have to separate that ring super, super carefully, and that take your time with that. If that takes half an hour for you to get that thing off, then that's so be it. I did do a friend's. He asked me if I would do it for him. He bought the gears, and we sat down, and it took about 45 minutes.
That.
Yep, to take it apart. And I'm always very careful about
That was
it.
a 993 though. It wasn't an 80.
No, it was a 3.2 Carrera.
It was a 3.2.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right.
Yep.
Sorry, wrong car.
Yep.
He has a couple cars too.
Yeah. So,
Right.
and I'm like, well,
Right.
okay, when did it stop, and about where should we forward the odometer to? Do you think would be fair? Because
Right, 'cause you
you've got,
can't go
you can just
back,
wheel
right?
those things. Yeah, you can
It's
do anything you
legal.
want.
You
It's
can?
illegal, so you have to be very careful about it. It's illegal for a dealership or a licensed reseller to mess with the odometer. I don't think it's technically illegal.
Does it
It's
let
just
you roll
really
it
bad.
back if you wanted to?
You could set it to 0 if you wanted to.
It's ridiculous.
So.
Shouldn't be allowed.
Yeah.
That's what happened in Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Right. So when we sent, but it didn't work, did it?
No.
So we sent the speedometer for the 356 off as well, but we knew when it broke, and we looked at our gas mileage, and we looked at the amount of gas we put in it, and so we asked them to set it to us forward to a certain mileage. So, I mean, it's just kind of a thing. But yes, you can buy just the gears. You pull that little ring off, and they have instructions on their site where to go from there. Each one of them are a little bit different. The gear it's kind of just basically in the middle of the whole mess in there. But you shouldn't have to take the pin off, and you shouldn't have to take the front face off if you do it right. So I didn't have to. I was able to get it off without all of that damage, and it worked great. So yes, you can fix that yourself.
Okay. We have another question.
Yes.
From Keith. He asks if any transmission work or engine bay work planned for the 3.2 before you put the engine back in. So Keith, let's just to catch you up real quick. We have to do the transmission. So yes, we are planning on actually having somebody else do the transmission work. Did they say how long it would take to get it done?
2 to 3 weeks
2
when
to
I
3
talked to
weeks.
them.
I hope that's not like the money pit 2 weeks.
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
2 weeks. 2 years later, right?
No,
So,
they'll get it done fairly quickly.
Yeah, so we have to get the transmission done. Some of the other questions, we actually asked the question earlier, if you're just joining us, of whether or not we should do the seats, we really kind of want to do both. Either don't do the seats and don't do the paint, or go ahead and redo the seats and the paint, and it's really significant cost-wise to get into that.
Right.
So we had pretty much a unanimous,
Response
don't
on
do the
that,
paint
yeah.
so that we can kind of get the car buttoned up and get it on the road again. I think Franny's kind of been jonesing to drive the car too.
Yeah, and it's a really fun car.
She, it's kind of it's not her daily driver, but it's sort of her go-to car for errands, quick little things.
It is. It's super easy to drive. It's super easy to just jump and go car. The only other thing besides the transmission would be the clutch. So if you're just joining, I'm going to do that this weekend. I'm going to take a look at that.
You're looking at it, but you don't know if you're doing it.
Yeah, I'm going to inspect it. I'm going to pull the clutch off and check it all back there and see how it's doing. Check out the flywheel. There's a pilot bearing in there that may need to be replaced. There's just a a few things to look at. And if anything is slightest bit suspect, I'll go ahead and replace the whole lot and pull the flywheel off, get it turned, get them balanced. I've found that, at least with the 356, it's critical to get the flywheel and the clutch balanced together. That can reduce an enormous amount of vibration in the engine. So it's another reason when you're here, you know, I mean, you got it out. It's out, and it's just a matter of pulling stuff off. So, I mean, it's might as well. It's a lot easier to do now, so than it would be in the future.
Right.
So,
yeah, and we might need to look at the paperwork to see when it was last time. But.
And a clutch on this car, the clutch kits are just under $500, somewhere around there. That's the pressure plate, the clutch, the throwout bearing as well. That's another big piece, and so that's that. The flywheel would be something you'd probably take down and get turned, and then yeah, so and then just reinstall. So it wouldn't be all that expensive, I don't think. Maybe it would probably end up being about $700 once we got all said and done if we do the flywheel. Yeah. So yeah.
Okay.
So.
Toys are for boys.
Aw.
Here's 666 in Canadian to keep the evil out of your engines. Love your videos.
Aww.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. Oh, that's super sweet. Thank you
That's
very much.
Sweet. Thank you.
That's always helpful. Thank you so much.
So, Archio Freak asked if there's a way to adjust the 993 cab top to the left or right. Is that something that you really talk to people maybe? I mean, if you have questions about stuff, I would recommend that you actually go to our website.
Yeah, and just drop us an email.
Heidi and Franny's Garage.com. It's a long website name. But that's really a good way. There's a contact us, and you know, it's a good way to reach out if you have something that's a little bit more technical, and you know you might be going back and forth a little bit with Franny. We're doing it right now for free. Yeah. At some point we might start charging, but for right now it's free. And so yeah, please feel free to drop us a line there. You know, go to the website, check it out. We always have good intentions about our website. We try to kind of keep it up with some latest videos. But
oh God, it's just a lot of work to upkeep YouTube, Instagram, the website,
Patreon.
But
yeah,
just to answer your quick question about the top, yeah, I think they are adjustable. There's a dual set of cables that go out, and I think they're adjustable. So if it's off to one side or the other, I think that's adjustable. And about that top, I was driving the car, this was before we all went into lockdown, but I was driving the car with the top up, so it was a little cooler back in February or something. And I noticed a lot of noise from it, just kind of creaking and rattling. I'm like, you know, this car doesn't have any creaks or rattles. So that night when I got home, I thought I'd do an inspection on it. I found that all the connection bolts in that thing and all the different arms and things and the pivot points were all loose, every single one of them. Some of them were out like 3 or 4 turns, they were so loose. So I pulled them all out, put a little bit of blue Loctite in them, put them back in, re-greased the, you know, the bearing surfaces and stuff, and the top totally shut up, which was awesome, and now it goes up and down much easier too. Right. So if you haven't done an inspection on your top, and that would go for anything from the 3.2 Carrera on up, I guess the SC actually, the 83, which is the first year of a convertible, all the way up through even I guess the 996s, but the mechanisms are a little more hidden with those. But yeah, evidently they loosen up. So
right, exactly.
Yeah.
Somebody said do the slave cylinder on the clutch. Which car?
Oh, yeah. The
3.2 Carrera?
The 3.2 doesn't have one.
No, I was going to say we did.
Yeah, the 993 does, but the 3.2 doesn't.
It was hard to film, so Franny ended up kind of telling a story about it.
Yeah, so that was
a nightmare.
That was a nightmare on the that was on 996. Yeah,
that was a nightmare day.
Franny turbo.
She wasn't ready to quit YouTube, but she definitely was ready to quit that video. Yeah, the video was. I said you got to talk about it. At least talk about it. So, yeah, that was a tough day. That was super tough.
But on the 86 and older of the 3.2 Carreras, it's still a mechanical clutch, still a cable that goes back. When they introduced the G50 transmission, then they added the hydraulic clutch to it. So that would be an 87 or later car through the 964s, 930s, and on up.
Okay, so a couple more questions. For the plating, did your place do small batches? Jeff, they do small batches in the plating. We sent ours in like little baggies, and then they're like, you know, it'll be a lot cheaper if you just like let us throw it all together. So we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just opted for that. So it will be a lot more expensive if you want to do it that way. Take lots of photos, and if you can, yeah, it's you know.
Yeah, I think
it's just plan on them. I think what they do is they put it in like a basket or something, and then they even have other people's jobs at the same time. So they keep it separate, but it was probably one of the cheaper things that we did of the whole.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad, huh?
Well, one thing, yeah. I guess the injectors weren't. They were so reasonably priced.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you guys want to get your injectors tested and redone, that place was great. The place that we have listed.
But one of the things about the plating that I really liked was that, like a strap, like this strap right here, that doesn't seem like it'd be that expensive, does it? I mean, it's just a strap, right? I think they're like $70, and then.
No.
Way
more.
And then then the cap
They're
bolt's
literally
even expensive.
They're like $150.
Oh my gosh. Okay,
They're way more. So I mean, if you can do
get your parts plated.
Van Nuys.
Yeah, Van Nuys. And
they
so
were great. I mean, they really were. They you know, kind of stuffed some stuff into a box when they sent it back. A little bit weird, but I mean, the work that they did was good.
Yeah, they did a great job. But importantly, if you went to replace those parts, you're like, oh, I'm just going to buy all new hardware. I'm going to buy all new this, and I'll do that. Super expensive. And if you want it to look original, then the only one that's original is the one that came off the car. So our clamps and things looked amazing when they got done with them. They looked brand new.
You look
all
at
that
this,
stuff
you're
did.
probably thinking there's a lot of new parts on there, but
no.
There's, I mean, we did get a lot of parts, no doubt.
Well, things like spark plug wires and such, but as far as actual bolts and nuts, very few of them, except for like the cover that's on the catalytic converter. I had to replace all that hardware, but it was only if the hardware was completely destroyed. But jeepers, yeah, if you can get it plated, I was really amazed at how nice those parts came back. They were amazing when they came back.
Abernathy Monsoon asked if we will be upgrading the air conditioning, or is there nothing that can be done with it? The air conditioning's already been upgraded on the car. Yeah, it's already on the 3.2. Yeah, before we got it, it was already upgraded. It's had some.
So there's a couple of things. There's a couple of things you can do. There's a fan motor up front that's underneath in the bonnet there that I think the original is a little weak, and so you can put a better fan motor there. It's got all new lines on it, all new polar seal lines, because it was converted from, what is it, R13 to 135 or 1, is that right? So
something going on with the error, YouTube not receiving enough video.
Oh, we have a problem?
Are you guys still hearing us?
Not enough video to maintain smooth streaming. Ask user about. Okay, all right. We'll explain. So, okay, so you guys just might see a little bit of buffering. Sorry about that. Any rate, the air conditioning was in the car was switched over to the new system, and that molecule is quite a bit smaller, so you can't use the original hoses. So the hoses all have to be replaced. There's not a whole lot you can do beyond that. There just isn't a good airflow for the air conditioner. And it sits underneath in the back deck lid back there as well. So I don't know, there's not a whole lot you can do. The air conditioning does work when it gets charged, and if it's leaking, you should never have to recharge it unless it's leaking. But I think ours has a slow leak somewhere anyways. So we go ahead and recharge it maybe once a year, and then
I think we've done it once.
I've done it a couple of times.
Oh. Well, you did it with, you just did it yourself.
Yeah, you can go down to your friendly local auto parts dealership, your flaps, and you can get a little canister of it and do it yourself. It has valves on it, and they have instructions and things.
So great for the environment.
Well, they are 130. Is it 135? I'm trying to remember. It's not that bad.
Okay. That's good.
It's not like the old stuff is.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So somebody asked if we ever go to a PCA track day. At some point.
Well,
It's just a
our
whole
cars
nother
can't
thing,
really
yeah.
go.
I mean, we have all these cabriolets and stuff,
Excuse
so
me.
that's the other thing. Franny's right. There's a, most of our cars aren't even eligible, and then there's the gear. So you either have to borrow a helmet and hope that it fits, or buy one, which is like $300 at least. So yeah, we haven't.
We
done
probably
track day.
should.
I mean, it's a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
We'll just get addicted to that and stop making YouTube videos. So we don't want to do that.
We don't do that.
Let's see. Thank you for the instructional videos. What's your most fun car to drive? That's a tough question. And do you ever have extra parts left over?
There are a few here.
You actually had one that was
a
left
few.
over, and then she found where it went.
And then I found where it went.
Right,
I was like,
right.
woo, that's where it
Yeah,
goes.
she's kind of worried.
So I have another,
part,
I have a small assembly downstairs of the actual blower motor, the helper blower motor that goes up here on top. And I took it all apart because I was hoping to actually send it off to get it plated, but it still had the magnets in. I couldn't get them out, and I was like, eh. So I'm going to end up putting that all back together. So some of these parts go to that. But yeah, I may have a
hope
washer
not.
or two left over.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, there were some that, really were rusted and had to be broken, and then you got another.
So it's a little
so
hard. So yeah, if you
hard to
replace
tell.
some stuff, but I hope I don't have too much
Right.
left over. Nothing big.
How cool is that you did this in your garage? It's so intimidating, and you did it from home. Yeah.
It is intimidating, I'll tell you that. That's for certain.
It's definitely intimidating.
But it wasn't as hard as I thought. And we made one small mistake pulling the engine out to not lift the nose up a little bit higher to get it off. That's what that clunk is in the video. When we pulled it out, it was
Right.
it coming off. So that was a problem. And I took a little bit of grief from people on that, and rightfully so. But I know now, and reading in the manuals, they even say it, that as you put the engine in, you need to rotate the nose. The problem is if the tail is way up in the air, then you even have a harder time getting it in. So I think we want to kind of go back and double think the way we had the car lifted last time. I want to really take a look at that.
Might have another person.
Yeah, so if we can have, I don't know if we'll be able to get Doug or not, but we'll definitely have somebody else. But
Well, I was thinking like even 4 people instead of 3.
oh,
don't
I
know.
see. Yeah, maybe a
Yeah,
few
I
more
don't know.
people might be helpful.
So we have another person joining from Brazil. Wow. Another one from Japan.
R12 to 134A.
Yeah, right.
Thank you.
Yep.
I just could not remember that.
Right.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Franny hasn't changed out an LCD screen for the HVAC on a 986. LCD screen? So Franny hasn't changed.
No, not on a 986.
No.
There's some good aftermarket stereos and things that you can get for, that's not, the LCD screen is not for that. So
Nick Murray says, I have a lot of questions, but not about cars. Nick Murray is on.
Nick! Hi, Nick. How are you?
Everybody say hi to Nick.
Yep. Everybody say hi to Nick.
All right. Actually got a washer pump motor plated, and it was done with magnets in place.
Did you really? Because
Wow.
we talked to them about it, and they're like, we should have sent it. That's so stupid. We should have sent it. We should have. It would have looked sweet on there. The thing about all the plating that was on the car funny was that the top side of it would be bad, but then the underside would be fine. So that motor casing, I can turn it around 180 degrees and it actually looks pretty nice on the other side.
Somebody wants us to open Nick Murray's microphone so they can hear us stop provoking questions. Well, we need to do a collab live stream with Nick. That
Well,
would
we'd
be
have to
fun.
do a Zoom meeting during the
Right,
live stream
right.
to get Nick, and we could do that, I suppose.
Right.
Maybe we'll have to do that in the future. That sounds like fun.
Do it on Nick's channel.
That would actually be pretty fun.
Right.
That would be pretty cool.
Right. Yep. Would it be easier to drop the car down on the engine? Yeah.
Well, the engine still has to come up
Right.
somehow,
Right.
you know, because it obviously doesn't sit on the ground. So it has to come up a ways anyways, and then you kind of have to crawl underneath there to get at least the forward transmission mount bolts in. That's like number one. And then the rear engine mounts come in through the engine bay. So, yeah, I don't know. It's a good question. Well, here's the thing: is once you have to push the stupid back of the car up so high to get the engine under there. Then I suppose you could lower it down a little bit. That would definitely make your life easier. What are you seeing?
Just Nick said that Heidi and Franny are the best.
Aw,
He's so nice.
Nick is very sweet. Nick is sort of our mentor. So he's been he's a prince. Nick is. He is
he's been
amazing.
Putting up with a lot
He
from
has.
us lately.
We have been
He's so tired of hearing
He
from us.
must be. We've been absolutely grilling him about a million things, and he's been so generous with his time and his thoughts, and
if you haven't checked out his channel,
yeah,
you should check it out.
Yeah, I think pretty much everybody here
interesting-
knows Nick, but he just did a killer helicopter video. Actually, it's pretty sweet. Any rate, but
any airplanes.
yeah, I just want to publicly thank Nick.
Right.
Thank you so much, Nick, for all your.
And see, you're getting a lot of
Putting up with us.
highs, Nick. There's a lot of people saying hello to
Yeah,
Nick.
yeah. So, yeah. So I don't know. It's getting to be close to 8:30.
10:30 East Coast time.
Yeah,
so
I don't know how.
Definitely past Nick's bedtime, right?
It is. It is. I mean, we could go a little bit longer if there's anything else anyone would like to. Anyone would like to cover?
What content other than the 3.2 Carrera? What should we do next? Should we do the 996? Should we do 993? Should we do Ferrari?
Yeah, we got Ava needs stuff. I gotta get that steering sorted on that car. I don't know what it is, but it's really stiff for some reason.
Now?
No, the i8's doing great. That car's working fine.
If you want i8 content, check out Pat's.
Yes, check out Pat's Garage
he's done
Online.
Everything to his i8.
He's got some really cool stuff
he
too.
does.
So little performance tunes and things he's done recently.
Check out Pat's
and
channel.
he has done all sorts of stuff with his car, and he's in cahoots with eVapors and a few other channels as well.
Right.
So there's lots of cool stuff to check out.
Pat's channel is exploding right now.
It's doing really well.
In numbers from the last time I checked. So
Yeah.
you're doing well, Pat.
Yeah, you're doing great.
Congrats.
Yeah. And it's a incredibly interesting and neat car. It's very polarizing, but it's a very cool car. And if you're at all thinking about, well, I wonder what a car like that would be like to own,
Right.
definitely check out his channel and check out some of the stuff.
Pat's
It's pretty cool.
Garage Online.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. So
Any thoughts on buying a 968?
a 968.
What do you think of the new Ford
I don't
GT? Do an electric conversion. You know, electric conversion.
We did toss that around quite a bit. That would be
What's
fairly
Nick's channel?
expensive.
I'm not a pilot, but I did stay at the the Holiday Inn Express.
What's Nick's channel?
Yeah,
Nick Murray.
Nick Murray.
Yeah, Nick Murray.
We should probably put the links below.
Yeah, we'll have to
You
put
know,
that in the
right,
description when we get done. But
Right, the Ford Bronco design.
yeah, the new Ford Bronco just came out, brand new. So
I don't
Straight
know,
Pipes
Ford
just
GT.
went past 1 million subscribers.
Those guys
and
are great too.
They're great too.
They've been very nice.
They've been super nice.
Right.
And anyway, they just did something on the Ford Bronco
Right.
as well. So check out their content on
Definitely
that.
watch the Straight Pipes if you haven't. I mean, they just went over 1 million subscribers.
Yeah,
but-
they're like the best reviews.
Yeah,
So,
they're
yeah,
good guys too.
They are.
They're nice guys.
They super are, yeah.
So is Chris Fix.
So is Chris Fix.
Right.
Yeah, Heidi's been talking to
And-
Chris about his
right,
bees
right.
and things.
Right.
It's a
Check
fun
out Chris's
community.
channel
So
if you like car content.
yeah.
Fix It channel
Yep.
stuff.
Yep. So I you know.
Oh, somebody wants you to do a BMW.
Oh.
So Franny likes to call the BMWs 2002, and then I have a friend that is a BMW person, and he has all sorts of 2002s is what he calls them. But to me, a 2002 sounds like it's a 2002 like year-wise, and they're not.
That's confusing
so
me. Yeah,
almost
so I
like
call them
Franny's name
2002s.
better of 2002 because 2002 sounds like the year.
Those things
Yeah,
are
that's
super
crazy.
cool. I would love to have one of those
We
in the
do
garage.
need that. That would be maybe
Oh.
once we Well, we can't sell any cars.
No, we have to figure out something.
We're hoarders, I guess,
We
because
are.
we don't want to sell any of our cars.
But yeah, 2002 would be awesome. And sounds like it'd be reasonable to work
we
on.
just have
and
to learn how
blah,
to
blah,
say
blah.
2002. And
Yeah, not piss people off. Right.
Yep.
But as far as the Ford Bronco design, yeah, it looks kind of interesting, I guess. Yeah,
and then
I think so.
968. I don't know if we would buy a 968. We've got the 3.2 Carrera. I don't. I never say never to anything. I mean, Porsche's a Porsche is a Porsche.
Well, Nick bought a 928. So
that's right, he did.
He did. Yep. So Nick, that was a
green car.
That certainly was a left-hand turn.
Green Porsches right now.
Yeah, I thought you were going to get a 993, but you went with the 928. So that's really interesting.
I think Nick went. 308. Somebody wants 308. To 308. Oh, and then somebody else says 993. 993. So I think the 308 content came first.
Okay, so 308, 993. Well, we definitely have work to do on both of those cars.
Right.
So I think that'll be great. We'll get to that.
Who taught you how to make videos? Oh,
YouTube.
Who taught us? YouTube.
YouTube taught us.
Franny literally studied YouTube videos for like a year and a half before we started making content.
Well, I'm not going to go saying that.
Yeah, she did.
That I even know what I'm doing, but
she was watching Vehicle Virgins and Peter McKinnon and Casey Neistat and
there's a lot
many
to it.
different of content creators, but it depends on what you're looking to do. Lighting and sound first and foremost. So that's why live streams are hard for us, because we definitely want you guys to have good sound. And it can be frustrating when we go back and watch them and we're like, oh, the sound. So sound is really critical, even a little bit more so than video. And so we try to make sure that, things are well lit and that the sound is good. Yeah.
And then we use Adobe Premiere just because that's what was available, when we started. And it's a little pricey, but not the end of the world. It's like a monthly thing. But there's a definite curve there to learning how to use that software.
Now. We talked about that the last live stream,
we
but
did.
we still haven't.
We haven't really got into that. No.
Yeah, we haven't had time.
But there's lots of videos on how to learn how to edit, and so that's sort of the mechanical bit of it. The other is getting the shots you need, thinking about what you want.
308 needs love.
It does need love.
Yeah, I agree.
And so there's quite a bit to it as far as learning how to do stuff. And the best advice I can give you is just start doing it. Just start doing it. Your first ones may not even they'll be malformed. You'll be like, I don't even have enough to actually put something together. That's okay.
So
you can learn a lot and you can move on.
We have another person from Sydney, Australia. We've had several people from Sydney this time.
Where it's lunchtime on Friday.
Right, right.
So
Friday.
Tomorrow's lunch.
Friday,
That's great. Yay.
If you had to keep just one of your cars, that's an obvious answer.
Which one would it be? It would have to be Ava.
Ava. Mm-hmm.
Just because she is the most special.
Car,
yeah, she
heirloom
is.
car. So she's been in my family since 1961.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if we only had one car, that would be our car.
Yeah.
So. Engine looks incredible. And then somebody else said, well, thank you. And we're kind of wrapping up this hour. So, I think
Yeah, we're getting kind of towards the end. How are you guys feeling? I think we're probably getting pretty close to the end here. And is there any last questions that you'd like us to?
Requests?
Yep. If there's anything else
I think they've all fallen asleep at this point.
Maybe.
To sleep. So, well, thank you for telling us that the engine looks incredible. That's been a lot of work for both of us. Much more so for Franny physically. A lot of phone calls, a lot of
Heidi handled all the back end.
So it's I've kind of been off camera a lot, and I actually really quite enjoy all the talking to other people and getting things organized, and so I miss you guys, but it's also it's just been a lot of work and we enjoy it.
The back end of this, getting everything organized, making sure stuff goes out to the platers, comes back from the platers, was insured when it comes. There's a billion little things, and Heidi has handled all of that stuff, and it's been It's been great. It's an interesting sort of division between the two of us.
Right.
And I'm out here working on stuff, and yeah, it's a long day, and yeah, I spend a bunch of time editing.
If you have a significant other and you have a car project, I would somehow, I know it's sometimes like pulling teeth, but if you can encourage, somehow, you know, get that person excited if they're not, which it's not always possible. You know, we realize that, but it's been really rewarding for me to get involved, and it's nice, and I feel like there's a sense of accomplishment as well, because I know that this project, the timeline was moved up because of all the work that we've done together, and I think that anybody that's just doing it by themselves, you know, they're going to be the ones that have to work on the weekends to call all these places and get things, you know, or evenings or whatever. But yeah, if you can work on it as a team, it definitely goes more smoothly.
Yeah, it does. And Heidi's done a great job with all of that. The parts are always here. We had problems. We replaced the deck's back strut lids thingy-mabobbers on the 993. And so Heidi sent them out. Yeah, we had to do it 3 times, and she had to contact them.
And then, like, I had the right part number, and they even said it was their mistake, and told me not even to bother returning them. I'm going to ship them off anyway, but still, I mean,
it's just sometimes it's kind of a mess, and it's
especially if there's a timeline involved.
Yeah, and she's like, oh, you got to call those people again, and blah blah blah. So that's what Heidi handles with all of this. So even though she's not on camera, or she sort of steps in to help me put the intake manifold on or something like that, she's working. She's like a little duck, so her little feet are going nuts below the water line all the time.
I'm actually dealing with non-car related stuff right now of stuff like that.
There's just quite a bit of that, but so that's how we sort of break things up a bit with the job. So, all right, well. All right, well, I think...
Oh, somebody wants to know what our day jobs are. We both do the same exact thing.
We kind of do. We both do...
We stare at a computer all day.
We do. We do...
And then we stare at a computer all night.
We do report writing, SQL Server, and SSRS, Microsoft's...
we literally do the same thing, and it kind
SQL
of just
Server
worked out that
reporting
way.
services and stuff.
Everybody needs report writers.
Yep.
So, and report writing sounds really boring, but I actually really love it.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It's really fun.
Yeah,
so, but that's what we do. We're report writers. So SSRS, go Google search SQL Server SSRS.
SQL Server reporting services.
Right. Exactly. Okay.
So.
Well.
All right.
Is there another car you have your eyes on, and what car would get the axe? Well, that's the problem. We don't want to get rid of any of our cars. There's lots of cars that we have our eyes on. Yeah, we'd love to get a Beetle. Actually, we have more. We have
Beetle content.
Beetle content coming up as well.
Yes.
So for those of you that tuned in from Brazil, for Beetle content, we should be getting onto the Beetle content in, as soon as I'd say sooner than later. Probably, maybe even in...
coming up
September.
pretty soon. Yeah, we could get it here pretty soon. So it's the same car. It's Miss Lemon Drop, and we're going to swap out her distributor and do another full service on the car, which of course I won't make a huge video on because I already have it. But we'll hit some other points on the car as well and just make sure it's working well. I know that there's some issues with the top as well, and I don't know. We got a bunch of stuff to do. So that'll be fun. I'm really looking forward to seeing Miss Lemon again.
Right.
That would be great.
Fun car.
Yeah.
So yeah, to answer your question though, we do like a lot of cars. I just, it changes.
Okay, but if you could get one, let's say you don't have to get rid of one, what would be a car that you'd want to get?
I don't know. It seems like it changes every week.
Oh, that's fine. What is it this week?
We would like a convertible Beetle, like a classic Beetle.
Is that what you'd like?
Well, we've talked about a Carmen Ghia as well.
Okay.
Like a classic
So
Carmen Ghia.
was that what you would go with?
Of course.
Okay.
Or Ferrari.
Well, see, you can only pick one.
I know. See, this is
I am going to pick the Ferrari. 355.
355 Ferrari.
Yeah, I know. I understand the maintenance and stuff. I get all that. But wow, that car sounds amazing and must be incredible to drive. So, and that would be interesting to do that work yourself.
I mean, there's been some newer You know, I mean, we've had that 996 turbo for a really long time, but I really like the new Carrera, you know, the new Porsche Carrera, like a new car. I don't know. Shoot, you know? I might be convinced to
Okay,
sell
well,
the
yeah.
996 at
Maybe
some
Heidi's
point.
going to get rid of the 996.
So maybe that would get the axe. I don't know. Who knows?
It's a pretty desirable car. It's an X50. It's manual. It has ceramic brakes. It's and it's convertible. That may or may not be.
Let somebody
good,
else
but
enjoy it.
Yeah, it's a neat
great car.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's been
I
running
love it.
great.
I have no complaints about the 996. I
Yeah.
just would want it. I would want something different.
Newer or something.
I don't know.
991 or something.
I don't know if I could part with it though.
You'll have to talk
It
to Nick
comes
about
down
that.
to it, Nick.
Yeah, you'll have to talk to Nick. He can hook you up with the newer cars.
Oh, right, yes.
Yeah, like we can
right.
afford that.
Exactly.
So.
Okay. 914. We'd love to
914 would be
that'd
cool.
Be fun
Yeah, that would
as
be
well.
fun, too.
And 355 is great if you stay away from the F1 transmission.
Yeah, I would definitely want it in
Right.
manual. We have a friend who actually hooked us to kind of got us started on the Ferrari stuff, and so he got one. It was manual as well, and yeah, that would be pretty cool.
So
Gated shift
if you
around.
ever worked on cars with either of your parents, then I would say no.
You know, my dad, so growing up, my dad had a Beetle. My mom had a Beetle as well, 63. My dad had a 68. My dad wasn't really exactly the mechanical type. He was an airline pilot. So he flew for United back in the day and flew Caravels, DC-8s, even DC-6s back in the day. 727s, that sort of thing. So you'd think he'd kind of be that way, but he's a pilot, not so much a mechanic. But we did little maintenance things, you know, grease this and do that. And so that was always fun. But yeah, not that much. But I do appreciate the time we did do.
The Alfa Romeo GTV.
Oh, an Alfa.
Well, I was.
Heidi's always been into that.
Yeah. I like the 1950s ones though.
Yeah.
So definitely one of those for sure.
The classic Mark I Mini Cooper, yeah, those are really cool too.
Right. Yeah.
Rich Rebuilds had this thing on Instagram where he's like, tell me and be very specific why I should not buy this car. And it was a picture of an early Mini, and that just sounded like great fun.
So someone said something about a 911 with a Tesla drivetrain would be a cool project. Do you want to talk about the project that you were thinking about doing that was an electric project?
Well, I was thinking about possibly electrifying a Boxster.
So taking like a
987. I'm not a big fan of the 986, but a 987 I think would
it's
be.
It's not that she's not a fan of the 986. It's just that.
Well, I mean, it'd be hard to find one that was in good enough nick. I think that wasn't. I mean, it's kind of have to go back and forth with it. You need a car that probably has a bad engine because you need to get it for a decent price because you're going to take the engine out anyways. I suppose you could sell the engine. And then
you wouldn't have to worry about the IFS fairing if you got rid of the engine.
No, you wouldn't have to worry about any of that.
So I guess it would. I mean, that you could probably get a 986 pretty cheap.
Or a 986, I suppose. Yeah, it would be fun.
The window. So the one thing about the 986 versus the 987 is that in 2003, is that when they went to a glass back window?
Yeah, either two or three.
So we have cars that have don't have glass
but it's
windows.
not about the glass window. It's about having to pull the powertrain out.
It's about the glass window.
And having to put a big motor back there and hooking all that up. And there are other options besides Tesla as well. But
right.
Because the Tesla powertrains are a bit expensive, but yeah, that'd be kind of fun. I think it would be pretty neat.
Super chat. Got my i8 because of this channel.
Oh, it's E-Vapors. Oh yeah.
Yay.
How are you?
Great. That's
yes,
awesome.
yes. So, that's great.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Great, definitely.
Yep. So another great channel for i8 content is E-Vapors. So check him out.
Pilots and Porsches go hand in hand. MGB GT with a V8 engine.
With a V8, holy cow! So
and a tiny little MGB.
Yeah, wow! I've never really. I mean, it's almost a bit like a Cobra, right? So an AC with a big old huge engine in it.
So I was talking to Franny just the other day, and I said, "What about a Cobra replica?" And Franny's like, "I think even the replicas are pretty expensive."
I think they pretty much are.
So, but. I know.
But
I
you
think
know,
that would be kind of a cool draw.
I really Heidi thinks I'm crazy, but I really like that 550 Spider that we had in the garage that I did a lot of work on. That was cool. Or a 718 replica. Oh boy, that would be
Like
something.
we never even really talked about
God, that'd
getting
be
a
so
replica
much fun.
for ourselves, but
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
maybe.
I don't know. That'd be
know.
kind of fun though. That would be
Right.
super fun. So
There's a 356 in Top Gun. That's true. It's this. It's a that is a replica, I think.
pretty much all of the so 48 Hours, Top Gun,
Oh, all of them.
Wimbledon, all the little
They
the
have the little-
speedsters
yeah, they're all replicas.
are all replicas. Now, if you watched National Lampoon's Vacation and you've got a real good eagle eye, when he goes down to buy the family truckster, you'll see a 356. I believe it's a C cab
that's
across the
right.
street.
It is. That's true.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Vacation. Yeah.
Yeah, on vacation.
Franny, do you have any updates on your model planes? They
No.
have dust on them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's the update.
Yeah, the
We
update is
talked
I haven't
about
done much
that
with
the
it.
other day.
Yeah, we need to do more of that. I think. I just
That'd
honestly
be a
have been
different
so busy.
channel at this point.
Well, I can't really put it on the channel, but
Right.
I've just been so busy with
Franny
this
actually has a
and everything
scooter
else.
maintenance video that she hasn't put up that we need to get finished, but we don't want to put it on this channel.
Oh, yeah, I have a
different one.
sailboat sitting up there that needs to get sailed at some point.
Heidi
And
and Franny's Adventure Channel.
we have to. It'd be great to get out of the garage. That would be fun. But
Yeah, do you want to see me cooking in the kitchen?
no.
I'm just kidding.
But I think we're kind of settling in
Right.
on the channel as kind of a garage and kind of mechanics channel. So we've heard. So
Right.
I think that's kind of where we're kind of focusing our content and will be for a bit. But as far as the airplanes go, I still have that big glider downstairs I need to finish, and I just haven't been out. You know, interestingly though, about that, the model airplane park has had some real challenges with the COVID because of all the distancing and stuff, and it's been pretty difficult for them, I think. This is just kind of a bunch of guys who are used to going out and kind of being pretty close and being really friendly with each other, and now they have to stay apart, and it's been tough for them out there. So a little bit of a different environment. Kind of strange.
Somebody's talking about Vacation, awesome movie.
Yeah.
So their dad also flew for United Airlines.
Oh, neat.
Patrick Diggin.
Oh, neat,
Cool.
neat. Yeah, my dad was based out of Washington National, Page Field originally, but then Washington National after that. And he was big in the
kit
Union.
Bodies
so-
are from South Africa. Good to know, because maybe we'll get a kit car.
Are they
someday.
really? Ah, interesting,
Just
because
like
the 550s come from Brazil.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's interesting. South Africa, I did
So
not know
Franny's
that.
going to get the 550 and I'm going to get the Cobra. We're just kidding.
What we
Dream
would do
on,
with that.
With
Yeah.
all that garage space that we don't have.
Yes.
I think
All
that's
right.
about it. Guys.
Yeah.
So it was great catching up with you.
Yeah, thank you so much, of course, for
Yeah.
stopping by and staying as long as you did. Thanks for all the great questions.
Right.
And
Thanks those of you who did some super chats for us.
thank you. That's so
Really
sweet.
appreciate
That's
that.
super sweet. And okay, so coming up, we're gonna get the clutch off of this thing. We're gonna get the engine bay cleaned.
Right.
We're gonna start putting the car back together.
And we are evidently not painting.
And it looks like we're probably not gonna do that,
The
so.
interior bit, but no paint.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, thanks so much, and I hope everyone is doing well. And I hope you guys. It's Thursday here, Friday in Australia. So have a great weekend, rest of the week, and have a great weekend. All right. Okay. Well, is that it? We all done?
That's it.
Okay. Well, thanks so much. And until next time.
Right. Safe travels.
Bye.